I need to hire someone, or we need to create some capacity, we've got overrun. But I've gone to the CEO and he said, well, can't AI just do all of the bookkeeping and outsourcing work nowadays?
They accepted customers using fake addresses. And in this case, they accepted a customer using the address 10 Downing Street and Buckingham Palace without verifying them, highlighting how rapid growth can sometimes outpace the systems designed to protect against financial crime.
Click, a data analytics and AI solutions firm, has identified that most UK businesses are not seeing tangible results from AI.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Digi-Tools in a Cruel World. For those of you who are joining us for the first time after a long time, we are the digital disruptors who cover all of the latest and greatest in accounting technology. Lots of AI probably of late, and I'd say that's probably in keeping with the times. But then again, it's very noisy out there, so we try and make it a little bit easier for you to understand the updates that are taking place across all the apps that you know and love. And on top of that, every bit of new news that comes out to do with compliance, to do with accounting, we chew it over. We try and meet the people that you want to hear more from and get the inner view from them. You can catch us every week on the Digital Digest Live, which takes place on a Thursday morning, usually with Ryan Piercy, who is on the podcast today and is joining me as co-host. And thankfully, it's just us because the noisy one is off in the States somewhere. And that noisy one is aka John Toon. Will probably join us on the next podcast episode. But that to say, if you do want to catch up with us later in the year, we are once again holding our awards event. So we really hope to see your beautiful faces there as well. Before I go any further, Ryan, how are you?
I'm good, Indy. So it's a pleasure to be on this pod with you, sponsored by Advanced Track Outsourcing. And I think probably their newest thing is pod sourcing. If you've not heard what that is, check it out. Talk to them. Find out, because it's the intertwining of tech and people, which I think is what we're all about nowadays.
The most future forward way of recruiting right now, because it's not as easy to recruit individuals and then see the success of a whole team. So what's quite cool about the way that Advanced Track have approaches, they were fairly innovative, I'd say. They launched this about a year ago, announced it at the awards last year. But on top of that, in the age of AI, I just think that this is so much more relevant now, where we're seeing streamlining of firms, of companies, 1-2-man sort of band outfits that then want to fractionalize the way they work with a team. Very clever. So it's probably quite before his time, actually, Vipul.
It is, and I just had someone reach out to me today going, look, I get lots of pressure from my my internal team. I need to hire someone, or we need to create some capacity, we've got overrun. But I've gone to the CEO and he said, well, can't AI just do all of the bookkeeping and outsourcing work nowadays? And I think that's the context where maybe you need those partnerships with the people that can understand the tech and the people and deliver the service together. So yeah, I think it's the right pairing.
100. And we have got a whole host of app news for everyone joining us today. So shall we kick right into that, or shall we spend a little bit longer talking about any industry goss that you've been privileged to, Ryan? Because I know that you hear about it a lot sooner than I do.
Industry goss? I don't know. I'm not sure I could spread rumours on our podcast, indeed. That would be unethical. But no, I mean, what I would say is I've started to see a bit of a lull. We've entered summer and things have quietened down. It went crazy as we go up to summer. Lots of app news, lots of things going on. And although we're going to be covering quite a few things now, it's not as intense as it has been. So maybe
speak for yourself, Ryan. I think I've had the most dramatic year this year. And I want to say thank you to everyone that reached out to me over the course of the last few weeks, and anyone that was party to the information and that was taking place on the bankable side. So it's been a humbling period. It's been a dramatic period, and probably maybe the reason why it's all so quiet is because behind the scenes there is some gossip, but I'm not allowed to be in the room at the moment. So maybe we need to figure out what it is.
Yeah, fair enough. But I'm all good. I would say looking forward to summer, but I struggle with heat, Indy, and I have without now I work at home without aircon. I really feel the impact of a now hotter British summer that we seem to get.
Yeah. I'm going to buy you a microfiber towel. I think you're going to love
I
it.
don't know what that means. Is that going to cool me down?
Little microfiber, sweat off the brow. Mop the sweat off the brow a little.
Maybe I just need to wear. I wear a sweatband for running. Maybe I just need that for my general work now.
Yeah, branded.
Branded.
Yeah, branded.
There you go. If anyone's out there and wants to get me a branded sweatband, never know, you might catch me on it in the next pod.
You will definitely catch Ryan with it. So there you go. Latest merch idea for anyone that's interested. Sweatbands. Okay, great. Let's kick on to app news. I've got something this week. Dext's new partnership with Airwallex promises to simplify accounts payable by automating the payment process directly within the Dext platform. And this could be a game changer for accountants. The ability to manage supplier payments, payroll, and client collections in one place, combined with automatic reconciliation and fraud detection to save time and reduce the risk of errors. Airwallex, for most people who have not already come across them before, have supported multi-currency wallet payments and are really competitive on FX rates, which makes it attractive for businesses who have international dealings. There was a few that I came across in Bankable where I'd say, they came up with a very compelling offer for any partner that they worked with. So I think the integration is a promising start. I am maybe perhaps critical, a little bit critical. Airwallex provides a similar service, like I said, to many businesses. So it's not exactly a novel offering, maybe just that is more streamlined in terms of how you access it. So that's great for Airwallex that they have another distribution channel. But Dext is playing catch up in the payment space where several providers are already dominant and there's multiple options available for accountants already. So the real question is whether this will truly integrate seamlessly within the existing workflow of the system, or is it just another tool that adds some complexity to the managing of finances? So without some proof of the superior user experience, it could be more about jumping on the payments trend for Iris and Dext, who both of whom we know have not actually solved a fundamental pain point in doing this, but have maybe streamlined some part of the operation. Ryan, what do you think? Do you think I'm being too harsh?
No. I mean, Dext announced years ago that they were going to release Dext Pay. Then that never came to fruition. And then there've kind of been rumors that, there's going to be another version of Dext Pay or Dext Payments. And I think we all thought it'd be built from the ground up. It's been taking a while to come out, right? And they've released so much so quickly. You thought, well, surely they must be building something pretty super there. So it's taken a while. And, partnering with someone else and then delivering it. And it, in essence, replicating something one of the competitors had already done, which was AccrualMax with Airwallex. It doesn't feel that exciting, but as you said, we don't know until we can kind of fundamentally play with it and get our hands on it and see is the flow going to be really good. Because as I think you said, they implied it's going to be fully inbuilt in the system. So like Xero and Cresco, when you don't know that you're using Cresco to make the payment, maybe that'll be the same feeling with Dext Pay. It'll feel seamless, and then it doesn't really matter how they've built it.
Well, let's hope that it is as sophisticated and as slick as that. So one could only pray that happens, given that Dext is a behemoth, and I'm sure that to try and launch Dext Pay any other way would have taken years. So maybe this is the way we saw Xero integrate or have a strategic alliance with Stripe. So maybe this is the equivalent.
I'm going to pivot away from technology to Companies House. Now, we brought this up on the show a few months ago about the fact that small companies would have to file their profit and loss at Companies House, and that was coming in April 2027. But there's been a pause. The government have basically said, oh, maybe we haven't got this right yet. It's not been permanently delayed. It's not had a MTD. We're going to put this off until the future. We don't know when it's going to come in. It's just a pause to rethink. Essentially, the Business Secretary, Jonathan Reynolds, as a government source quoted, said, we paused them. Johnny is worried it's too burdensome. Well, I mean, the accounting community had been talking about this for a while. I don't think it's burdensome as the issue. I think it's about the challenges it causes with over disclosure in the small business space, because a lot of small businesses rely on key customers. And if those customers can see the money that business is making, there's a good chance they may go elsewhere. And that causes a huge risk with that business essentially going under. So I'm not sure it's burdensome as the issue, but maybe over disclosure causing other problems. We'll see if it gets permanently delayed or if it does come in the, well, not too distant future.
I've got something more pivoting back to tech and maybe, again, edging some of the bits around burdens and compliance slightly. Monzo's recent £21 million fine for failing to properly verify addresses has raised major concerns about how quickly fintechs and neobanks can and should onboard customers without cutting corners once again, especially when it comes to anti-money laundering and know your customer processes. It's something I've spoken about a lot on this podcast, but also I've experienced it, and that is the point. And so, without being able to disclose too much around it, because it is still something that is active in its own right. The fintechs who rushed through this process, just as Monzo did, they accepted customers using fake addresses. And in this case, they accepted a customer using the address 10 Downing Street and Buckingham Palace without verifying them, highlighting how rapid growth can sometimes outpace the systems designed to protect against financial crime. It's so obvious that it's almost laughable. So, and I know we look at the way that accountants interact with the different banks that people use and recommend. We know that Alex Falcon, for instance, she has some huge problems, didn't she, with Revolut? I think it's still this is a red flag. So while those fintechs continue to make promises of simplicity and speed around the payment side or around the handling of those banking transactions, we've seen it as well firsthand in our experience of looking at some of the fintechs that have set up on payments, where there's been a lack of robust verification, means that the businesses that are using it are left vulnerable to fraud. So I think, that's one of the things that was a big takeaway. And it's just that, again, once more, I know we had a really great chat to Kaylee from Telaroo around the fact that financial crime prevention isn't just a box ticking exercise. It is about critical for maintaining trust and compliance and having your insurance in place that allows you to protect your customers and your practice. So the fact that Monzo systems failed to keep pace with their growth should make us question whether onboarding at the expense of solid verification is worth the risk. But yes, so that's to say, not impressed. Monzo have, however, claimed to have addressed the issue. So I should add that. And they've made improvements to their system. So, they've learned their lesson. They've done something about it. I think we had that same experience ourselves with one of the fintechs in this space who we questioned on their AML practices, and they did do the same. They corrected the system. So I think from the industry-wide perspective, it's essential to for accountants to ensure that their clients' financial data is protected and they're not inadvertently exposed to the same sorts of compliance risks, which we all are keen to make sure that clients in this day and age avoid.
Yes. I mean, this is like the opposite of computer says no, isn't it? This is computer says blindly yes. Shit's gone. Okay. Well, sorry, what was that?
I love your house, Buckingham Palace. I've been there. It's lovely.
Yeah, exactly. So any normal person would have just gone, this is quite clearly not correct. But the computer doesn't know. And maybe that's the thing where, as we go into this realm of AI, you need to make sure you're building these checks in, right? That it's doing a sense check, one that a human would obviously pick up, but the computer doesn't necessarily know to do.
it's quite hilarious because, I think it's just the way that it's almost so overt. I think a competitor must have done that. I mean, why
Of
would you do
course.
that?
Yeah.
Like, why would you put in something? It's got to be like, oh, look at this. I registered the address at the Shard. I don't know.
They're not alone, right? They're not alone.
They're not.
All right. Well, we constantly talk about AI and its impact on the accounting community, and we are very passionate in the fact that we believe it will have a huge impact. But a recent report, bit of research from Click, a data analytics and AI solutions firm, has identified that most UK businesses are not seeing tangible results from AI. They're seeing a lot of utilization, but not actually a real profitability or performance gain. And I'm not sure if that's that surprising. So they surveyed about 250 UK businesses. So it's not a small survey, they've looked into this quite significantly. And only 11% said that more than 3/4 of their AI initiatives, anything, I guess, where they're putting an AI project together, had delivered tangible gains, i.e. where they can see a performance improvement, either their costs have gone down or their income has gone up. One thing I thought was actually probably more, not remarkable, but more testament to what's going on here is that more than half of the people surveyed said that they don't have KPIs tied to this. So essentially, they're still in that trial and error phase. Go out, play with AI, see what you do, but we're not actually going to hold you accountable to it. And the conversations I have with a lot of businesses at the moment is that, okay, we don't really know what we should be doing, so we're going to play around with it, invest quite a bit of time and energy, and not necessarily even know if we've made an improvement to the business because we're not tracking it in a measurable way. And I think that's quite problematic because it should be like any investment into a machine, into a solution, into a service where you got to track these things. You got to identify, is it worth investing? Yeah, you dabble a bit, but is that dabbling generating some leads you want to pursue further, and then create a bit of a framework around it? Don't delay it, but create a bit of a framework to identify, are we going to make some money on this?
I think it's a fair point. Otherwise, what's the point in investing so much time and energy into it and allowing people to just, it's essentially just a waste of time and energy. Do you think it's a little bit like how some businesses look at social media and they say, yeah, you need to spend time in social media. We need to have social media. We need to invest the time creating content for social media, but we really don't know what it generates for us. Is it a little bit like that?
It's pretty much exactly the same, I think, right? So they go, oh yeah, everyone should be doing something on it because everyone else is doing something, but you don't know what you're doing, so you don't want to track, you don't know where to direct it or how to use it as a strategic pillar in everything you do. And essentially AI is now becoming that as well. And I think one of the problems, and something the survey brought up, is that the issue isn't about investment. It's not a lack of money that they can put towards it. I think people want to put money and invest towards it. It's a lack of skill set, especially internally. And even if you look externally, it's become a bit of a wild west of AI consultants out there because it's a very rare skill to be very good at this. And so people will say they can do it. And then when you engage with them, actually the quality of what you're getting isn't necessarily that great. So I think there's quite a bit of risk associated with investing time and money in AI at the moment. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. You just need to be really strategic about what you're doing and how you're doing it and how much you're going to invest.
Yeah, I agree. Or contact us because we're AI specialists. No, we're not. We're not AI.
Everyone is now, right?
Everyone's an AI specialist, social media specialist, e-commerce specialist used to be a thing back in the day. So yeah, it's just like that. I think that things will become, they will reach a tipping point, and I think that we're all going to have to educate ourselves to get there. So, and luckily for us, there is a lot of tech out there to help us. So yeah, fair point. Having a strategy around it. In the latest episode of Zero's, is it automation series? And they show, is it the Zero one? Am I making that up?
Yeah. I just know if that's what it's called.
Yeah, the automation series. They show how to build a fully integrated appointment booking system. with Xero using nothing but natural language prompts. So there's no coding required. The demo, powered by Replit, highlights a big shift in how businesses can now automate processes with AI-powered coding tools. So interesting, because that's exactly what you were talking a little bit about, right?
Indeed it
Is a
was.
booking system with Replit and Xero. In this one, what they built was like a new contact, generating an invoice and send automated confirmation emails and reminders with a link to an online invoice. For accountants and bookkeepers, it's a good one. The system allows clients to book appointments, automatically sync with Xero, and do all the bits that you need to do ahead of a meeting. And the functionality seamlessly integrates within Xero and can save time, money, reduce manual errors, blah, blah, blah. So the best part is Replit's AI. Is it Replit, do you think?
I think it's Replit.
Replit?
But
Replete?
I don't think you're asking the
Oh.
right person here, considering I'm the person that gets every name wrong.
Replit. I'm going to say lit because it's LIT. So Replit's AI handles complex tasks like diagnosing errors, integrating email services, and setting up Xero API connections based on simple commands. So it's a way that technology is trying to embed more of that command-based logic into its application. So if you're not a developer, this still lets you create powerful customized solutions without writing a single line of code. And there's been a flux of these types of technologies that have come through the doors. English first, or like English being the coding language. So it's not perfect, but the demo shows how quickly businesses, especially the smaller ones, can automate critical workflows. So if you've been hesitant about integrating systems or automating client management, this could be a tool that makes it more accessible and perhaps something that you want to invest a tiny little bit of time in. The future of coding will, at least, from all intents and purposes, look like it's a plain language. So people like you and me and our commentator in the States can build their own applications and start managing relationships a lot more efficiently.
Yeah, I think this is really interesting. And I guess I'm assuming that this is using Xero's new MCP. So, the AI API, essentially, that it released earlier this year. And
Yes.
makes sense then that they're talking about it indirectly through a large language model building code. And this is something I come across a lot, where a business is on a system where they don't want to move away from it, but they really want to connect and share their data with another system, such as Xero. Well, this is a great way of doing it, right? You don't now need to pay a consultant £10,000+ to build an integration. You could potentially source and resolve this yourself, especially if both systems have an API. So yeah, I think this is a great thing. And I guess as a takeaway on this, Indy, was there a video? Is there a guide? Like, how can people learn more about this? Because this is something I would want to explore more on.
Yeah, there was a demo video, I believe.
And make sure, if you did want to see this video, that you subscribe to our newsletter, because it will be in that. So you can see all the back copies of that as well, and by following the link. Pivoting away from AI, I've got something from Expend. It isn't huge, but I think it's something that's quite powerful, and something that's probably not as commonplace as I would have thought it would have been a while ago, and that is automated mileage tracking. Now, in a lot of expense management tools, you can do mileage tracking. You can put your start point, your end point, but it doesn't track it automatically from your phone. Now, Expend has brought this in and has made it so that you can configure working hours as well, so it knows automatically to pick up elements of this, so that you're not just tracking all your personal travel directly into the phone and directly into Expend. It will do this based on timeframes you set. Now, obviously, there's going to be the odd case where you're going to be outside of those times, but doesn't matter. You can still pick that up and manually add it in to Expend if needed. But you may have come across a system called MileIQ, which was released ages ago. Must have been 5, 6, maybe 4 years ago. And we talked about it on one of the earliest pods. This was acquired by Microsoft and therefore not developed anymore. But Expend have now released it into their app. So if it's something that you find that you're doing a lot of with your staff, a lot of mileage tracking, then maybe it's worth exploring this with the Expend solution.
Very nice. I like that. Yeah. I wonder how it works for, so I guess about electric vehicles. How does that work?
Well,
'Cause
luckily
you've got to
they
have-
still move in the same way, so you can have GPS tracking, it'll still pick it up.
This is true. Well done, Ryan.
I mean, if you run really fast, there is a chance it may pick it up as well. But
I was thinking of the card expense. Okay, I was thinking of the. But you're right, mileage. Indeed.
but
I was thinking about these fuel cards that you used to get.
I understand. Yeah. It's not fuel card tracking; it's mileage tracking. So they do. I believe Expend do have integrations into fuel cards as well. Don't hold me to that, but I believe they do. So it may cover both areas.
Anyway, okay, moving on. Things got a little bit faster on the Adfin side. So Adfin have released some news, a new feature update. Don't want to call it a feature update or just generally a business logic update. Direct debit payments will settle within they'll settle 2 days faster. It's not within 2 days. That's very important. The new timeline would be on day 0.
When they 4 days before,
Adfin.
I don't know.
If they were 4 days before,
and if they're 2 days faster, would they also be within 2 days?
Hang on a minute. Hang on. Adfin submits the payment on day 0 for collection.
Got it.
On day 2, the payment is debited from your customer. On day 4, the payment is marked as final and paid out to you.
Got it. So it is 4 days now. Is that what we're saying?
It's 4 days now.
Got it. Makes sense. Although from the time it's taken from your customer to your bank, 2 days.
2 days. 2 days. Yeah, 2 days. From all that applies to all direct debit payments that have been submitted from the 8th of July. So it's a new feature for them, or I keep calling it a feature, but it's not. It's just a way of working. And now what we really want to do to all of those in payments, we don't even want to wait 4 days. We just want it immediate and real time.
I think the reason for the delay is to verify that actually there's no callback immediate or there's no bounce or something. And
the clearing
exactly.
and whatnot. Yeah, we've got it. Yeah, we know, but it's just that the world is moving ever so quickly. So real time.
One thing I will say is I believe this is now notably faster than GoCardless, which is one of the biggest competitors. So it is a big win on that side, at least.
Love that. That's good.
little bit of information there. All right. Well,
good job, Adfin. You beat them. GoCardless. Your pace.
They're both green. Which is what it is sporting today. So
I am. This is in honor of 2 days faster.
Yeah, that's what that was. It says it on the back, doesn't it?
2 days faster. Right. Green.
All right. I have one last thing from WorkflowMax, and what I actually loved about this is they've provided a annual summary of everything they've released over the last year in the product and everything they're looking to release over the next year. Why can't every app do this? This is a really good summary of knowing where they've what the system has gone through, the journey it's gone through, and where it's going. I mean, admittedly, if Dext did this, it may turn into an entire encyclopedia based on what seems to have happened the last year with their releases, but it's still a very positive thing. And if you're any app to listen to this, talk to your marketing team, make sure this goes in and you do a general annual summary, because I think this should be a requirement, even though it's making Indy laugh. But let me run through some of the things that they have done. So they completely redid their interface, which is obviously a huge rollout, a huge development, because not only are you bringing out a new way of navigating, but you have to take your users on that journey, which usually creates a large number of support tickets from my experience working in other products over the last number of years. They have reimagined quoting. They've changed invoicing. They've changed purchase orders. So a lot of the documentation that goes through it. They brought out a global search that goes through the entire system, and they brought in customizable dashboards. The other thing they've also done is they've integrated into Xero. That seems to be one of the major things that WorkflowMax should do, considering where it came from, but also HubSpot and Airwallex. And they've brought out a new mobile app. But that's not where they're stopping. They're going to release a lot more. And one of the good things that I liked about what they're going to do is they're going to be bringing capacity planning. So WorkflowMax being a job and project management tool, capacity planning is something that's become pretty much a requirement for anyone in this space beyond, I guess, kind of the Xero projects level. And I think this was a weakness for WorkflowMax. Whenever I did benchmarking of it against other systems, the lack of capacity planning is something that always navigated me away from them. And the fact that they're focusing on this as one of their key developments over the next year, I think is a big positive. They're also building deeper integrations into QuickBooks and into Zapier if you need to connect into other tools. And then working on other areas such as dashboard widgets. So although you've got customizable dashboards, a lot of the systems in project management will have little widgets you can add or remove into your dashboard so that staff can tailor them to exactly what they need. And I think that's going to be a big win for them over the next year. And multi-currency as well. But one thing I was slightly, I guess, confused by is they're going back to their user interface and UX experience, which, as they just released in the last year, makes me a little bit nervous that maybe they didn't research that as much. So they're tweaking that over the coming years as well. And then John would love this little tip of the hat to John. They're bringing in single sign-on, John. So I know you're not here today, but hopefully you listen to the pod and this will make you smile that WorkflowMax will have single sign-on in the not too distant future.
Wow.
What a way to finish, eh?
Well done. Well done to the marketing team. You're right. Like when you said that, you made me feel like it reminded me of, when like you're a child and you go back to your parents and they say, why can't you be more like David? David always does a good job.
Yeah.
He always brings home A+, and this is an A+, and yours is clearly at C.
I feel some childhood traumas coming out here, Indy.
No, my dad would not have done that, to be honest. My dad, that was a lot worse.
But if you were good, you had the whole sweet shop, so can't complain.
No. We just had the sweet shop was not whether you're good or bad. It was just a default. That was default. Okay, so there's no good or bad. That was probably bad, if anything. No, we were very fortunate with my dad. He used to pretend we had like a gift, and he gave me one year a spatula, and he said it's a spatula from like the Good Food magazine. And then we were like, oh, I got a spatula. And he gave him, and then he just said, give me your report card. And oh my god, of course the rating system was for every like C you got, it was like 3 little taps with the spatula in your hand, but after every little taps it was quite sore. So like
different. It's a different world now. Couldn't do that. You'd be taken to prison.
No, like you can't do that now. I don't look at spatulas the same way, to be honest.
Can't use them in cooking.
I don't even have spatulas in my house anymore. No, but that to say, that was quite entertaining to hear. So anyone that wants to do a better job or hold their marketing team accountable, look at what those guys did. Release all your features. How happy Ryan was with that. So happy. Made his day.
Just for me.
Thanks for joining us on today's podcast. We are glad that you tuned in. If you've got any feedback, you want to hear more on any of the news pieces that we've spoken about, or you think that we should probably cover some other perspectives within the industry that are occurring right now, we'd love to hear your feedback. And look forward to catching you at our awards event, signing up to our newsletter, or anything else that we can engage with you on, because it's always, feedback is a gift. But we will catch you on the next one.